Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's 2 o'clock, and that means it is time for Top 5 Tuesday. I am your host from Crate Insider. I'm Kate Dillon, and I want to thank you so much for being here. In case you hadn't guessed, it is Star Wars Day. I am a super nerd, I have to say, and I don't know. I just decided, like, I'm rocking my Princess Leia buns today. Kind of having fun with that. I've got Alex here in the office helping me out today with things, and we even have our little video switcher, so he's gonna kind of zip us back and forth between our camera angles. It's kind of fun. See, I can go here, or look at that. I'm such a nerd. Anyway, so yeah, type in you can see the sign right there. So I hope you're having a happy Star Wars Day. Just having fun with it on a random Tuesday. But with that, I've got a couple of things to give away this week. And our first one is we have a Refuse to Lose shirt right here. This happens to be a ladies shirt. And this one is I'm trying to see the size here. It's an extra large, which really means it's like a small because these run super small. And it says Refuse to Lose on the back. So if there's a lady watching or a lady in your life, just drop in a comment and you can be entered into our drawing. Our drawing is really simple. At the end of this video, we just do a random number generator and we pop up a winner, and so you could win. And then for our second giveaway, if you know what my sign said last week, then drop that as a comment. And I've got this cool shirt from our friends at AFCO, Dynatech, and Pro Shocks. It's a Pro Shocks shirt, and on the back has Pro Shocks. This one happens to be a 2X. So if that works for you, if you know what my sign said last week, drop that into the comments. And speaking of comments, then I'm going to take a look here and see some comments from some folks here. I see Brandon is here. And Scott says, hi from California. Happy Star Wars Day. Robert is here. Jeremy is here. He says, sweet costume. I actually have a whole thing going on here. I've got my little necklace. I've got a little belt. You can't really see it. I don't know if you can see that. I've got my little brown boots on. So it's like Princess Leia 2021, like kind of like in the middle between young Princess Leia and like old Commander Princess Leia, kind of the lost years. We're going to call this Princess Leia the Lost Years. That's the name of my costume today. All right. I see Lucas is here, and Doug and Chris and Andrew and Jim. I have John and Brad and Chris. I mean, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. This is always a highlight of every single week. We have a lot of fun with this at Crate Insider. So with that, you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those into the comments. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Speaking of questions, we actually, in case you don't know, maybe you're new to watching this show, we do another show on Sundays. I do that show with Steve Hendren. He's the engine builder at Hendren Racing Engines. Actually, it's his family's business. And he's their business, Hendren Racing Engines, is the largest crate engine rebuilder in the country. And so he's very knowledgeable about all things that have to do with crate engines and just racing in general. And it's a lot of fun. We have that show on Sundays. This last Sunday, one of the highlights is we talked quite a bit about chassis dynos and the benefit of using a chassis dyno, how that works, what you can find out, how it differs from an engine dyno. There's a lot of great information in there. So I would encourage you, if you haven't watched that or seen it yet, you could, or heard it, because you have really three choices. You can go to Facebook and you can see it in our videos. You can go to YouTube and see that in our videos. Our show is called Unsealed. Or third, if you're someone who likes podcasts and maybe you're going down the road and just want to listen to some audio, then you can check out Racing Insider's podcast. Look that up on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. So whether that's iTunes or Spotify, it might be on SoundCloud. I'm not sure. We kind of go back and forth. SoundCloud is a little bit different. Google Play. So really any of those podcast providers, you should be able to listen to the show and just join in the conversation. You can always join us on that show. We do that at 5:30 on Sundays it's 5:30 Eastern. So you're welcome to join. We go live both on Facebook and YouTube. And just a little plug for that show. We have a lot of fun with it, and there's just a lot of great information that goes across the screen. Michael says, dang, I'm watching it right now. So that's great. That's great. Cody says, what carburetor do you recommend for the 602? Cody, that's just going to depend. A lot of times that's, I'd love to just give you a straight answer, but it depends on what kind of car you have. I mean, are you whether you're a modified or dirt late model, also what kind of rules you're running and what kind of fuel you're running. Sometimes some of these are regional. So if you're in IMCA country, that's going to be a slightly different choice than if you're in the South. Are the two that we sell the most of would be David Smith carburetors as well as Willys carbs. And we do, we've got a lot of customers running either one of those, but we can certainly customize that to your application. Let's see, any other questions? Feel free to drop them in. Otherwise, we're just going to jump into the top 5 for this week. And in the number 5 spot is our AllGee bump stops. Now, this is something that I learned about earlier this year. I went to a Race Logic chassis school it was actually the Crate late model class that I first heard about these. And this bump stop is a special, like hardcore plastic. I think it's called something else. It's polyurethane. It's basically a plastic polyurethane. It's heavy duty. You know how a lot of bump stops, you run them for a couple of weekends and then they're just kind of junk. Well, not this one. This one will last and last and last. And what you can do is you can even cut this down. If this is too tall or it gives you too much pressure from the start, you can cut it down, but save that other piece because you could put it back together. And the kit comes with 5 of these spacers. They're called something else. Packers, they're Packers. And so you just put, this way you can be on your spring smasher. If you want to add a Packer, you can just slide that in, actually push it in because it's pretty hardcore. I don't know. Apparently you got to be smarter than, there we go. All right. Push that in. And that's really tight. That's not coming out with just my fingers. I'm going to need like a needle nose plier in order to be able to pull this out. There we go. And of course, I've got a lot of light in this office right now. There we go. And so there we go. That's how we're going to pull out those Packers if we need to. Just get a needle nose plier and you'll be able to put them in, pull them out very easily. And you got to love this. Is going to last and last and last. And it's really consistent on the extra pressure that it's going to give you. And then this whole setup, this whole kit runs $60. The AllGee bump stop, you get the bump stop, and you get 5 of these Packers that go into that kit. So that's in the number 5 spot this week. Very popular. Next up in the number 4 spot this week is actually right behind me. It's just become a fixture in my office. And, one of these days I might have to do an office tour where I talk about the random stuff that is on the walls and on the bookshelves in my office. It's kind of fun. But this has been so popular, I decided let's just add it to the office because this way I've got one on hand. I get a lot of questions, about like how big is the blade all by itself. And then I just pull out a tape measure and it's pretty easy. What I love about the Race Fan is number 1, the versatility. So if you have the choice at any time, whether you want to be running 2 blades, 3 blades, or 4 blades. Yes, you could run 6 blades, but nobody runs a 6-blade Race Fan in Crate engines. They just don't. So 2, 3, 4, either way. And then it is all aircraft quality hardware, so it's heavy duty, hardcore. And one thing I really love, so we've got the 6061 T6 aluminum hub, and what's so smart of Ken over at Race Fan is on the back of this. Now, this is not going to focus for me. I'm just going to give you the heads up. But it actually has the torque. You know how a lot of times these cameras, just the way I'm filming this, I'm not going to be able to go up close. But it even tells you right here, it's anodized and etched, where it says you torque the nuts to 144 inch-pounds or 12 foot-pounds of torque. So you know exactly how many pounds you want to be able to do. Now, of course, these fans come in different diameters. You can order them as a 15-inch, a 17-inch, or a 19-inch. This happens to be the 17-inch, and I'm going to say this is the most popular out of like a 4-blade 17-inch fan is the most popular version we sell. And when we ship this out, you're going to have the blades, you'll have the hub, and you'll have all the hardware you need. And actually, you can put together what configuration you would like. I think more guys are running the 3 blades on their car, but it's great to have that 4th blade just as a spare, or if you want to make that change. And this 4-blade 17-inch race fan runs $265. And I'm going to put this back on the shelf where it is. It's just happy right there. It's just happy. All right, next up in the number 3 spot, this is a newer product for us, and we actually just really introduced this probably right after Bristol. We were talking a little bit about oils and dealing with Daytona One. We've worked with Buck for years and wanted to have a crate-specific oil that would be absolutely topped out to be the best oil we could possibly have on these cars, and he delivered. And this right here is our Daytona One. This is the premium synthetic. It is a class 3, I believe, of a base stock. There's a lot I have to learn about oils, but being this 5W40, this is absolutely designed to be able to handle the highest temperatures that you could bring. This oil is not going to fall apart. So if you've ever had those races where towards the end you feel like you're just kind of falling off, I think tires probably get blamed for a lot more stuff than they're actually guilty of. And so maybe you thought it was your tires, but ask yourself, was it maybe your oil? Did your oil just kind of give up? Was it so hot that it was maybe kind of breaking down, internally in that atomic level? And it's fascinating when we actually just had a conversation today. I'm going to want to, at some point, I'm hoping to make a video with some great visuals to really explain it, because it's just absolutely fascinating, and I have a hard time really verbalizing it. So I think I need to draw some pictures for myself and to communicate them. But this Daytona One 5W40, for coming out of the gate, it does absolutely fantastic. The best oil we've seen on the dyno for the numbers, but then we're also seeing the longevity. We're seeing the performance on the racetrack. It's kind of like the best kept secret right now. And this is the Daytona One PTRO. PTRO, what that stands for, it's a patent right there. It's patent pending formulation, but PTRO stands for purpose tuned racing oil. So it means that it's exactly developed for the specific purpose that we're selling it for. And in this case, look at that GM crate racing oil right there, right on the label. And for the first time in all the years, we have one that literally has GM crate on the label. So huge thank you to Daytona One. But man, if you're looking for the best thing we possibly have to sell, we've got a lot of great oils. Don't get me wrong. We have some great oils, but if you're looking for best of the best, top of the class, this is going to be it right here. And that's going to be the 540 full synthetic racing oil. All right. Oh, and that runs $212.64 for a case of 12. I didn't break down by the quart price, but 212 divided by 12, what is it? $14.94? $13.94. Okay, so thank you. That's why Alex does a great job in my office. So thank you for that, Alex. So $13.94 a quart is what you're running. So still incredible reasonable price at that level right there. All right, next up in the number 2 spot is we're also going to pull from my shelf is from my friends at Firebottle, and that is our Firebottle Amrc 1002. So with the Amrc 1002, these 2 hoses that you're seeing from these are both what we refer to as automatic lines. So an automatic line means that if it gets into a situation where there's fire, really where there's heat. So if there's a little glass tube in here, and if it gets to 170 degrees, this glass is going to break and it's going to set off the system. So that is about the safest way. We run this one here. You can see there's this short hose here, and then we've got a longer hose. So the short hose generally goes towards the fuel cell, and that longer hose, we want to put that towards the driver. And that way we're protecting 2 areas. And plus you can connect a manual line as well. So you can also have that control to be able to just pull a cord and set off the system. So you've got the safest and, kind of best in breed of all of the fire systems that are out there. This one's our favorite, is the Amrc 1002. This one runs $794.32, and then we've got $55, and I think it's $55. We've got hazard freight, because because of the chemicals that are in it, it ships out as hazards. So we just do a flat rate on that and try to contain that as much as we can. So just is what it is. We deal with that. Shipping is a nightmare right now, which has nothing to do with this, but I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm gonna put that back on my shelf where it lives. All right, before I get to the top spot, I'm gonna see if there's any other comments here that we wanna, if I can answer any more questions for you guys, and I'm happy to do that. Let's see. Support your local dirt track says, Short Track Inc. says, do you sell super late model crate engines? And now super late model, I don't, if you're talking about open engines, we do not. But when you mention crate engines, if you're talking about a CT525, yes, the CT525 would be available at CrateInsider.com. The 3 engines we cover here with all of our tech tips and our information and the products that we sell are for the GM602, the GM604, and the CT525. Now, I know a lot of what I talk about really translates to any small block Chevy, but more specifically, what we really focus on is those three crate engines right there. Let's see. Oh, and I just love that you're here, the Support Your Local Short Track Inc. So thank you for being part of the show. Really appreciate that. Okay, so I'm just kind of scrolling to see if there's any other comments. And we have so Brandon's got a good one. He says, does the Firebottle ship to Canada? I no longer ship to Canada, but you could call Firebottle directly and talk with them. I'm not sure. It's going to have to go ground regardless, whether it's in the States or in Canada, has to go ground. We can't go air with these because of the hazard designation. But just you can talk with Firebottle directly on that. Okay, so with that brings us to our top spot this week. And I think I need one of those sound things with a drum roll. But that is going to be our Kaiser Black beadlock wheels. These are just beautiful. I just think they're beautiful. You've got a powder coated interior, so they stay really, really pretty, stay clean and nice. So the black beadlocks right here, these run $335. I'm going to give you a heads up. They have been a top product for the last couple weeks. Wheels are one of the difficult things to get. This year in 2021, I have some, but I have a feeling that I'll be out of these in the next couple of weeks with the velocity of sales we have so far. I'm pretty much anticipating that we're not going to have them for very long. So if you find that you're going to need wheels, get them while you can. I have another order in. The last one took me like 3 months to get, so I don't know how long this next order is going to take me to get. So if you need wheels, really, guys, it's just difficult to get parts right now. I'm sure that's not huge news to you. I mean, you can go to a grocery store and see that there's empty sections on your shelf. But with any of these parts, if you think you're going to need it, please try to get it on order because it's just getting hard. It's been difficult all year, and that's just my 2 cents on that whole deal. So with that, let's go ahead and I've got a couple of names here. So our winners for this week, first of all, is our the person who commented. Oh, I think I might have these backwards. The comment is Robert Hem. So Robert, you are the winner of, this is actually a ladies refuse to lose t-shirt here. So you can give it to one of the ladies in your life. And if you would, Robert, please just send us a private message and we will get that sent out. Now, I don't know if you're from Facebook or from YouTube, but if you're on YouTube and if it's on Facebook, just send us a private message. If you're on YouTube, you can send an email to Kate@CrateInsider.com. We'll probably need to create a banner for that. I might just, Alex, will you type that in and as a comment and just add that? But Kate@CrateInsider.com, we'll put that up on the screen and you'll be able to send me an email. And then for our sign, then our winner here of the Pro Shocks shirt is Storm Beiler, Beiler. So Storm, if you would, please send us a private message and we'll get this shirt sent right out to you. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. And I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I hope you have a great week.